Welcome to Down in the Den. It's your boy Mars, aka Marlon Beardo, the Bearded Weirdo, and thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Down in the Den. And I am personally feeling blessed right now. I am so happy. With me, actor, author, freedom fighter. She's my hero, inspiration, shaman. I know I'm missing something. She wears more hats than LeBron James. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Den. Dayle Mcleod. Dale, welcome to the Den. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much. That was such an amazing intro. And also, I didn't know that you're called the Bearded Weirdo, but I really love that. And I'd like to refer
Thank
to you as that from now on, if that's
Thank you.
okay.
It is perfectly fine. That's what my mom calls me. So I think she's going to change it on the birth certificate. She hates the beard. So, yeah, so absolutely. Thank you so much for
I love
joining us.
it.
How has everything been treating you?
Everything has been great, actually. I've had a really nice week in Toronto. It's finally spring slash almost summer. So I actually went to the beach yesterday for the first time, and it was so nice. And just like I did swim in the very cold water.
Nice.
I've been actually doing polar dips like over the winter. So it wasn't too bad. I was just like very proud of myself. And we got a few other people who were a little too scared to actually come in with us. So that was fun.
So was that just for something was it spiritual or just hell? I want to dive in this cold water, or was it just like a dare or
It's kind of both. Like it definitely um engages your willpower because you're like, this is way too fucking cold. But
right?
also like in terms of your nervous system, to be submerged in cold water like that actually really calms your nervous system down. So you get this incredible, like refreshed, revitalized feeling afterwards. And it was really nice outside, so then I just got to lie in the sun.
Nice. I'm scared. I have some friends that they do a polar dip every year, and I try not to let fear. But I hate being cold. I'm in a hoodie right now. And it's about 5 degrees outside, so I hate. I said I think that's the Nubian roots in me. It's like no, no, no. I do not like the cold. It does not work.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
In Wakanda, we do not like the cold. Absolutely, absolutely. So, oh my God, I've been so excited to talk to you. You
Me
mentioned that
too.
you're from Alliston, Canada. Is that
Oh
correct?
yeah, Alliston, Ontario, Canada, the potato capital of Canada.
Absolute. The potato cow. Okay, all
Oh yeah,
right.
we grow all the potatoes for Lay's potato chips and also Ruffles potato chips.
So it's you guys are the reason I'm shaped like this. I need to blame. I'll send that invoice to my nutrition to Allison because
Yes,
potato
it's
chip
our fault.
is their
Make
fault.
the
Okay,
potatoes too good.
let me just make a note of that. All right, I'll make sure that we get those soup papers over there. So, as I mentioned, you wear many hats. Hollywood actress. We've seen you in tons of things. Your IMDb is extremely long. When did you
Appreciate it.
come to the States to pursue the whole entertainment industry aspect?
I came when I was about 22 or 23 years old, so that would have been in 2013, and I landed in Los Angeles. And I realized at that point, like, just how different, the culture and also the industry was, in comparison to Canada. Our industry is so small. I think we might have something like 10 casting directors, and there must be, like, over 6,000 even just, like, in Los Angeles alone.
Sure.
So, like, the amount I was like, "Wow, okay. This is an entirely new ball game."
Absolutely. I can imagine that was a bit of a culture shock, especially looking at Canadian TV, I presume,
Yeah.
and film, and then coming to Hollywood. What was it in what, 22? That is
Yeah.
a baby. Did you come alone or did you have like a support system with you?
No, I
Uh,
I came alone. Like there definitely is this network of Canadians in Los Angeles, and we all kind of just like gather together to try and like keep each other safe. Um and it became actually a little hard to meet Americans just because how huge the Canadian network was. Um yeah, but it was it there are definitely cultural differences, and and differences in just the way that TV and is made, especially where the money comes from. Most television, most film in Canada is all made with government money, which means that the government has to approve the script. They often get final say on like the title and the cut and everything. So it was kind of like coming to the Wild West. And it was really invigorating for me to meet artists from the United States who don't have that. Something else I just love about Americans as well is that you guys like broke away from the English Queen way longer, like way before we ever did. So we still have that like monarchy, that English sort of mentality, whereas Americans, it felt very free and very wild and like, and and I was really inspired by just the free thinking of ideas, the willingness to take risks, wanting to push boundaries, the ability to push boundaries. That's what I really, yeah, loved about being there.
Absolutely. I can imagine that only can feed your creativity when you have a little bit more free. I can't imagine having the government telling me, "Oh no, no, we don't like your
I
type."
know,
Something as little as that as a
I
creative
know,
would blow my mind.
I know. It's so aggravating. Like with my film, I've been applying for grants, and I'm just like, I do I even want your money if I have to like follow all these rules, you know? And maybe it's a better way to go to find private money so that you have that creative freedom.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I always preach independence. There's nothing wrong with partnering with people as long as they're like-minded.
Yeah.
But as long as the creativity has to be, let the creator do the
Yeah.
creative part. Yeah, I
Do
always
their
feel
thing.
I'm a big fan of do what you're best at.
Yes.
You're best at, the financing and raising of funds. You do that, I do this, and everybody will get along. Now,
Uh-huh.
Hollywood, you came at 22 from Canada. The freedom, obviously, that has to be rewarding. But was there anything, and you're a big, big advocate, we are here as well as mental health.
Yeah.
And I can't stress enough, like I said, how important that is. With you being an advocate for that, I see that on
Mhm.
a lot of your podcasts and other things. How is Hollywood as far as mental health? Because we see it all the time. We see, young actors, actresses, kid actors, older actors talk about how
Yeah.
toxic it can be sometimes. Did you have any
Yeah.
experience with that, and how did that impact your discovery into mental health and you becoming an advocate?
Yeah, I mean, like one of the things I actually became sort of lethargic when I first got there after a while because it was like all of the people around me were all working on television shows and they all had all this money and like their little houses in the hills and stuff like that, and it honestly felt like a retirement home for young people.
Mm,
And I had like I was just surrounded by privilege. And coming from Toronto, I had been producing my own plays, producing my own short films. I was like fully hustling. And then when I got to LA, it was like all of that stopped because I didn't have a network to make those things. That independent spirit wasn't fully around me. I was more surrounded by people who like had deals on TV shows and stuff. So that was really hard on my mental health, and also being isolated was really difficult. And I think at 22, I was like, I can do anything. Like, I don't need to have like a support base, but for sure, like I really did. And actually, my connection to my family was way more important than I had ever really realized. Also, it was weird being in a town where it felt like I never saw an old person. I was like living in Silver Lake and I'm like, where are the old people? Like, why am only like exclusively surrounded by hipsters? There's no children. I just felt like I was in this very isolated sort of bubble world. And I think that one of the things that has really changed in my life and in my career path is that for a long time I really wanted that sort of lifestyle. That I was really wanting that privilege. I was wanting to be in that bubble. I was wanting to be sort of untouchable by I wanted problems not to touch me. Everything just felt so like perfect, but also it made me a little sick. It made me a bit, oh, like it didn't feel quite right. And I realized that, like, for who I am as an artist, I can't focus on those sort of end results, or chasing like capitalism or chasing fame. Like that's also, I think, can be really detrimental to an artist. Where if you're chasing like fame and fortune, you just start to lose your sense of truth. You start to lose your sense of why you're making art in the first place. Um, it can get competitive. Relationships on set can be weird. Sometimes, like there's sometimes on certain sets, especially like when it's just drenched in white supremacy, and there's no diversity, whether it's racially or like with queer people or whatever. It's just these perfect figures. It can really and there's no sisterhood. Like it didn't feel like we were friends. And I was coming from theater. I was coming from this real place of like camaraderie, and we're making this together, and like there wasn't that much ego involved in it, and actually ego is was what got in our way. And so coming to LA, there was this sense of like, oh, I don't, this makes me sick a bit. I don't like this, and this isn't really good. And I think that's actually ultimately one of the reasons why I left, was because I really felt like I didn't fit in, and it didn't feel nourishing to me, to be chasing that kind of thing anymore. And that it really led me to all of the work that you had mentioned when you were so generously introducing me, like thank you, of like making my own album and doing that myself and writing my own book and just taking initiative. And one of the amazing things about living as an artist today is that we do have the capacity to create our own work and to publish it,
Yeah.
and to be the owner, and um, not have to enter into any sort of system or studio system where someone else is making most of the money off of your work, and telling you what to do and all of that stuff. And you can build your career around being what I call an artistpreneur. So you're an artist and an entrepreneur, and learning how to do that.
That-
You like that? Write it down.
Write that down. I love that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was definitely there was a lot of lessons in there for sure.
Absolutely. And we talked about this offline. Now is such a great time to be a creator because, as you mentioned, you
Mhm.
don't necessarily need the backing. You are your brand.
Yes.
So all you have to do is just get one thing popping, and then you see everyone else flops, and now you become the almost the dealer of your art. And, I almost put it
Exactly.
like you're bootlegging. You become the one source because there's only one you. And I always tell people this is a space for creators. We have creators like yourself from all different walks of life. And one thing that I've noticed, besides their enterprising spirit, is that most all want the same thing, to be able to have that creativity safety egg, but be able to have control. So that's
Mhm.
awesome. Now you mentioned your new path, and I was watching an episode of your podcast the other day, the Big Dream podcast, which is available everywhere. And you talked to mention about some of those toxic traits, but also as a creator, you have moved into the filmmaking space, which I can imagine is probably the closest thing to motherhood that a creator could possibly
Mhm.
experience. That's your baby. And can you tell us about the project? It's called Color, and you're
Yeah.
working on that. I know you're doing some fundraising. Tell us about this project because I'm super interested. I'm sure that they make some as
Awesome.
well.
Yeah, so this is my foray into filmmaking, well, into feature filmmaking. And so basically, when I was living in LA and I was very depressed and I was in sort of like a dark place, um, I had this spiritual awakening, and it was a shamanic calling. And as I said, I was sort of entrenched in this like white supremacist world. And all of a sudden, it was like my Zulu and my San ancestors from my father's side of the family started like communicating with me, and I started hallucinating them, started dreaming about them, and I fell into this like 40-day psychosis, which is which I didn't know what was going on. The people around me didn't know what was going on. They were just like, she hasn't eaten or slept in 40 days. She's talking to herself. She's talking to plants. She's talking to animals. She's hallucinating, like all of this stuff. And I ended up in a psychiatric hospital. And I met this Native American Jungian psychologist who saw what was happening to me. And instead of saying, oh, she's having a psychotic break or a schizophrenic episode, he was like, oh, she's having a shamanic awakening. This is everything that's happening to her is like textbook shamanic awakening. And he mentored me and was also my therapist for about a year and a half. And I was like, I had never really known what a shaman was before. This was my very first introduction to it. Um, but the work that we did together was really helpful and brought me back to my sanity. Whereas the Western medicine solution was just to pump me full of antipsychotic drugs. And I am on antidepressants right now, to be fully transparent. I definitely mix both medicines. Um, but so that was my shamanic initiation, which I write about in my book called The Big Dream, my terrifyingly beautiful shamanic initiation into the arts. But there comes a time where you have to be initiated into your lineage, and there's a process, and there's ceremonies that have to happen in order to move from shamanic apprentice into shamanic practitioner. So my documentary is about me going to South Africa, to the lands where my family is from, and to be initiated into the orishas, which is like these water deities that my ancestors are asking me to be initiated into, and then also to be initiated as a sangoma, which is an African shaman. And the process for that is that you go into the bush, the African bush, with a shaman who is your teacher. And I'm going to be living in a mud hut, and I will be chopping wood and cooking over an open fire, and learning different dances that will put me into different kinds of trances to communicate with the ancestors. Um, you learn how to work with plants, how to heal with plants, how to heal with water. You are not allowed to sit on a chair. You're not allowed to sit on a couch. You have to always sit on the floor, and you have to walk on your knees. It's like a whole humbling process
Mm.
where you're humbling yourself to your teacher and also to this ancient knowledge, because same with art, what gets in the way is your ego. And when you're a shaman, your energy is so amplified and you're powerful, and if you don't, if you're not humbled, that power can really come out in dark ways. And that's the importance of being initiated. And you can see people who have been called, and this is one of the reasons why I'm making the film, is that a lot of 1 in 5 people will have these kinds of psychotic, hyper religious episodes. 1 in 5. That's crazy.
Huge
And
percentage.
huge percentage, and
Huge
that's actually and that's a lot of Black and Indigenous folks who are from those lineages, and they end up in psychiatric wards without any help. Um, and what can happen is, like, if you don't get initiated, those energies, they do start to show up as like schizophrenia, because you're not integrated, and you might be hearing the voices of your ancestors, but you're not hearing them correctly, because those everything that needs to be healed hasn't been healed yet. And a shaman is the wounded healer. That's our path. Is that mostly people who become shamans are people who have had lots of trauma in their pasts. So the initiation process is really to process that, to alchemize that, and to turn that into power. And then when you are healed, you're able to heal, and that's a beautiful thing, where you move from being a hurt person who hurts people into being a healed person who heals people. So the movie is going to follow that journey, and and we talk a lot about identity, because um as a biracial person who has grown up in like this white world, I've had to contend with, okay, like, how much ownership of this lineage do I have, and can I claim my Zulu heritage when I wasn't raised in a Zulu tribe? What does it mean to be indigenous? And trying to approach it with, also, because I know that I have internalized racism and some internalized white supremacy, just based on where I've lived and the privilege that I've had myself growing up with a white mother, that I need to work through in approaching this film. And I'm just trying to be like as forthcoming and transparent with these questions that come up, in the journey of reclaiming your ancestry. And I'm hoping that it inspires others as well to start asking those questions and to start looking into their heritage. And when this first happened to me, and I was studying with a Native American shaman, it was beautiful to be learning about the medicines of the place that I was born in Canada, because this is native land. But also, I won't be able to connect with their shamanism until I connect with my own.
Mm.
I need to connect with my own first. And I thought that that was like a really important thing to have to happen before I could start mixing, and I think that's what's also really interesting about people waking up to, or having shamanic awakenings, or awakenings to become healers, is that I think it's experiencing a renaissance, because we have so much beautiful technology and medicine. We're so far, and to mix it with these ancient ways, I think is so cool. And I think that that is what will revolutionize mental health care. And it kind of already is. Like, there's so many different societies like MAPS who are studying psychedelics, and
Right.
how these shamanic medicines work to process that kind of trauma that is intergenerational, and that you might have this sort of a feeling or a depression in your body that doesn't necessarily connect with your own trauma, your own life's experience, but you've been carrying that literally through your DNA. And I think that's what's so beautiful about psychedelics, is that they address that kind of healing. And also, I know there's CAMH, which is a mental health facility in Toronto, that is starting to use sweat lodges, and they're starting to use some of the more like indigenous ways of healing, because they're starting to understand, oh, this is a spiritual thing.
Right.
This isn't just a mental thing, and you can't divorce those two things, especially when it comes to the shamanic calling. And I know I've been talking for like 5 minutes straight, but if I can
No,
go
I am
a little more.
I am so intrigued because it touches, especially now.
Mhm.
We're what, 15 months in a global pandemic. Nobody in my life, this hasn't happened since what, 1918. So nobody in my lifetime, no one I know has experienced anything like this. And as you can tell here in the den, it looks like a walking DMT trip.
Yeah.
I am a huge proponent of indigenous medicines in conjunction with some of the you know, technology, as you mentioned, that they've learned.
Mhm.
So it's very intriguing. I think, especially for people of color in America.
Mhm.
With us, it's a very, your journey as having indigenous roots and being raised in a Western civilization
Mhm.
matches our story here, people of color in America, because we have been removed from our indigenous. Most of us don't
Mhm.
even know what tribe we come from. Most of us don't
Mm.
know what is Africa. What country? It's like what,
Mm.
116 countries in Africa. Which one?
Mhm.
We don't know, and it's been
Mhm.
robbed. Our medicine, our culture, our
Mm.
religion,
Yeah.
our experiences, and it's so much trauma. That's something that I really just started to discover this year,
Yeah.
because I went through some things, we all have, and I really started to open myself up and
Mhm.
realize that, oh man, even when you think you're good, there's some traumas as a person of color
Mhm.
that you've experienced you
Mhm.
don't even recognize, and you're just coping.
Yes.
So I think your story is magnificent, especially I like to hear from people that, and by all means, take this as no offense, that could be white passing if you wanted to.
Mhm.
I think it's so beautiful that you acknowledge all of you as a person. But if you wanted to, and you know how Hollywood, you could say, "Oh no, I'm just white. I'm just white," and Hollywood would believe you, and there's benefits. I had to learn about colorism just being
Mhm.
a whiter person,
Mhm.
a person of color. I had more benefits than others, so it's a very, very important. We have another show down in the den after dark where we talk about not only just the entertainment side, but we also talk about mental health and other things from a guy's perspective. So it is awesome. It's
Mhm.
awesome.
Mhm.
And we're going to, at the end, we'll put a link in so people can donate, because this film is extremely important. And
Thank
we need it
you.
made. We as a people, and I mean us, human beings, we need it. So that is awesome. That is so awesome.
Thank you.
Now you've mentioned your acting. Expanse is one of the more popular shows that I've seen you on. To all
Yes.
my Amazon Prime members, please check Dale
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Talk about your movie that you're working on, and we're so excited about that. Um, Another aspect that you do and you do well, and in my humble opinion, that I love is the music.
Thank you.
I
You are so sweet about my music. I love it.
I music saves my life like every
Mhm.
day. If I didn't have my
Mhm.
headphones, I if someone took my car, I'd be okay. I could be if someone took my headphones, there might be
You're irreplaceable.
like irreplaceable. And so the music, the what do you find the most rewarding? Is it the music? Is it the acting, or do you just see one big pot of creativity? Which hat
Yeah.
is your favorite hat?
Well, they definitely all require something different from me. And right now I'm moving from like I wrote my script for my film and I was really in producer mode, which I really pull on like my masculine qualities for. And I'm writing the music for my film. I'm scoring it. So I'm moving right now into making an entire album for the film. And I know that in order to do that, I have to like open my heart so wide and just become like a vulnerable, like almost like I'm like peeling my skin off. Like I have to feel everything. I can't force anything. It all has to like yes, I have a schedule, but I have to open myself to inspiration and to feelings and to pleasure as well. Like I find music will pour out of me the happier and the more pleasure that I'm experiencing, the more people that I'm inspired by, the more nature that I'm with. Like going to the beach yesterday, I really feel my entire being just like just relax and get quiet, and then I just start to hear the music in my head, and it becomes really easy to just start writing it down. And music is such a beautiful way to process things as well, because like I definitely process my life experience through my art, whether it's through this film right now or through my book, and through music. It's so beautiful. Like it's just such a almost like nectar that comes out of you, like when you process through music and when you're expressing yourself through music, it's honey. It's not difficult for me, like when I was writing my book, I was really like, holy fucking shit, this is hard. I was like, I need to like sit down at my desk for like hours a day, and like I couldn't even like see my friends because I was so distracted by them, and like distracted. I couldn't date. I made myself like 1 day a week to have fun, but it was very much it's such a different experience. But when it comes to music, it's just it's dancing, it's magical, it's starlight, it's like it's romantic. I love it.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what like I dabbled a little bit. Unfortunately, I can't sing, and Guitar Hero is the reason I bought some guitars that are sitting in my studio right now that I can't play because I saw the color code and I'm like green, blue. Oh, I'm Lenny Kravitz. I'm ready to play, and I grab a guitar and the first string. I'm like, ow, this thing hurts.
I know it does. You build calluses for real.
Yes, yes, I have it because the closest I had to music was in elementary school. They did a test and they were like, "Oh, you have a really good ear, you have perfect pitch," but I can't sing,
Hmm.
so I can hear things,
Yeah.
but I can't express them. So they had me in all these advanced music classes, and I'm like, I just, I
But
just,
I do believe everyone can sing. I think that it really just takes practice. And if you have perfect pitch, like that's amazing. That's
yeah,
like very rare.
I have heard that everyone. I think it's not that I can't sing; is that my voice isn't built how I want it to be.
I
I
can
wanted
I
that
can
lovely.
imagine. I feel like you would have a beautiful baritone.
It's really deep. It's really deep,
Yeah.
and I always tell people that this isn't even my real voice. This is my masculine.
Higher voice?
Oh yeah,
No.
this is my recording voice. My real voice is much deeper.
Are you serious? Oh
That's
my god, I love it.
voice, but it freaks
Oh
people
my
out. So I
gosh.
raise it an octave when I'm doing these interviews.
Oh my god. But your voice is so deep and resonant.
It's really deep. It's really deep. So I always try to make sure I make it a little bit lighter, a little bit less intimidating for people, and then I forget. So then when I try to sing, I'm really up there, and then people are like, "Go down about 4 octaves," and they're like, "There you go. That's
Yes.
I'm like, nobody wants to hear Barry White, Little Short Barry White. I want to.
Yes, we do.
No, I don't have the vibe. I don't have the vibe. Absolutely. Oh man. But that reminds me. This is my favorite part of the interview. And Dale, you have been lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Are you ready for a little bit of song
Oh my
association?
gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm ready. I was so nervous, but I'm so excited.
So this part, whenever we have an artist, if they are willing enough to grace us with a few tunes, we have song association. So if you're just tuning in to Down in the
Okay.
Den, check out some of our other interviews. Check out the podcast, Song Association. So for those who don't know the rules, I've already explained the rules. I'm going to provide Dale with a word. The word can be in the title of the song, or it could be in the lyric of the song. She'll have a set amount of time to come up with a song featuring this lyric or title, this word in the lyric or title. And it has to be a real song. It
Oh my
can't.
god.
I've caught a couple of people that I'm like, hold on, let me put on my. This is not a real song. So, are you ready?
I'm ready, I think.
Okay, very good. So the first word,
Yeah.
and I'll set my timer.
Wait, how much time do I have?
You have 15 seconds.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay.
So it's 15 seconds is a long time. I have faith in you. You're going to get this.
Okay.
The first word
Yeah.
is friend. FRIEND. Friend, and the timer starts now.
Well, I mean, I have a song called Friends.
It can, hey, that'll work. Let's go.
You want me to sing it?
Yeah, just give us a bar.
Okay. Oh my god. It's a little explicit.
Hey, it's fine. We don't have any ratings here. Dennis,
Okay,
I've
it goes
been
like this.
sucking a finger up here. It's fine.
Okay, it goes like this. Bitch, you took what was mine. You blamed it on time and money, and I watched you walk away with a smile. Whore, you've used people before, but I felt safe and assured 'cause I was the one keeping you warm. I haven't even said friends yet. Can I keep going?
Yeah. Keep going. You see here. I'm in here, fellas.
Yeah. Now we've got secrets I can't keep no more. I saw your two faces, your mask on the floor, and now that it's out, what we gonna do? I know the truth about you. I know the truth about you. Hey, now you know I only wanted to be friends. Hey, now you know I only wanted to be friends.
Beautiful. Spirit fingers. We're doing the spirit.
Oh!
Love it. Awesome. Awesome. Charlie, he's knocked out. My co-host is knocked out, but
Oh my gosh.
lovely. You have a incredible voice. I love it.
Thank you.
It's almost, it feels indigenous. If
Oh.
that's the thing, it feels
Oh, that's
indigenous.
good.
It's
That's good.
actually, I love voices that have feeling and character. Uh,
Yes.
that
And it's
I
not
don't,
perfect. It's not like
it
I can hit
doesn't
every
have
note.
to be.
It's real.
Yeah, as long as I feel it, it's lovely
Mhm.
and it's lovely. So okay, that's an A plus. So the next word. All
Oh my
right.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
Next word is imagine. And
Oh, that's so like, obviously imagine all the people
there you go.
living for today. Ooh, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I am not the only one. I need your deep voice for that note. I hope
Uh,
someday you will join us.
yes.
Yes. And
And
the
the
world will
world
live as
is
one.
one. Oh God, that sounds awful.
Oh,
Listen,
I love
can
it.
we edit
You
that?
could play one of the frogs in Little Mermaid.
There you go.
Under the sea.
There you go. Under the sea, I can do a little Sebastian. All right, so that's
Yes.
2 for 2. This is the
Oh my
final,
gosh.
this is the final word. So this is
Final one.
passing. Right now
Okay,
you're at a
okay.
66. That's an American. What's that?
Oh.
A C? That's a C.
I'm
So
getting an A plus on
you
this.
get
You
this
know
word,
it.
you have it, and I think you're in luck. I think there's multiple options you'll have with this word, but you never know.
Okay.
So final word. Are you ready?
Yes.
The word is fire. FIRE. Fire.
This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire.
This girl is on fire. This wonderful person is on fire. Dayle, you got it. You get 100%. That's a big
100%? Woo!
100%.
Thank you so much.
100%. We
Oh
are,
my God, I'm
I'm going to have
honored.
to check the records. I think we're on a streak right now.
No, really?
Yeah, we are on a streak. There have been
Oh
people
my
that are just
gosh.
knocking it out the box. So you
Yes.
join the honor roll club. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Boop, boop, boop,
Boop,
boop.
boop, boop,
Those sound effects.
boop.
Bill, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
want you to tell the den mates where we can find you, where they can support your art, any websites, anything. The floor is yours.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay, so documentary, if you want to donate to the campaign, you can go to coloreddocumentary.com. If you want to listen to my music, you can go to my website, dalemcleod.com, or you could just search on any Spotify, Apple Music, all of the things. It's available there. And my album is called In Bloom. And find me on Instagram at Dayle, Dayle dot McLeod, MCLEOD. And if you message me, I will most likely message you back, and we can be friends. Also on YouTube, I've got YouTube videos. I've got the TikToks. I think I have 2 videos on TikTok,
Yes, your
but I'm
podcast.
trying. And I have a podcast called
Yeah,
the Big Dream Podcast. That's available on all of things. What else? I feel like you know more than I do now.
I have a lot. I have a lot. You have the film, you have the book, you have.
Oh, yeah, and my book. Okay. Also, you can get a copy of my book where I talk about what it was like to be called into shamanism and what those 40 days of psychosis was like, and what it was like to work with White Eagle, the Native American psychologist, and all of that. That's thebigdreambook.com, where you can grab a copy, or you can get a copy on Amazon.
Absolutely. And that the story is a true story. It's amazing. I have downloaded the book from Amazon. I have not finished, but I have started reading, and it
Yes.
is an amazing story. Uh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you've
I'm
been.
really glad to be here.
Did
Thank
you
you.
have a
You
good
have an
time?
amazing vibe. You've made me feel really comfortable and like really safe to be myself, and I appreciate that.
Well, you are always welcome, and I always do that. You get a stamp. You're an official den mate. That means you're welcome anytime, all time.
Yes.
If there's anything you want to promote, you just want to come in and chat, you're always welcome.
I
You're
might
in the
take you up
den.
on that. I think I will.
Hey, just send us a up, no problem at all. And Dale, thank you so much. You're
Thank
wonderful.
you.
You're
You are.
amazing. I wish you nothing but health, wealth, and success. And thank you again. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
joining us here
much. It
today.
was lovely. It was lovely. I'll see you soon.
Pleasure. And as always, guys, Deuces, this has
Peace.
been Down in the Den. Please check out our homegirl, Dale. She is amazing. I know you're going to love it. I've never steered you wrong. You know I haven't. So, Dale, thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for coming.